The podcast you're about to enjoy is part of the LOWTREE Studios podcast network. To enjoy great podcasts like this one, go now to LOWTREEstudios.com. And remember, get to the podcast.
Wreck My Podcast.
Do a little dance, make a little flub, get down tonight. Let's bounce right into this one because we're covering Flubber on this week's Wreck My Robin Williams.
Wreck My Podcast.
Welcome to Wreck My Podcast, where this week we're talking about Flubber. I'm here with my guest this week. The anime forums call him Weebo. It's Kreger.
I do weeb a lot in the weeblos.
You love the Weebelos. He wouldn't turn down a holographic hottie. It's Joe.
Wow, what a bang.
And I'm all absent-minded and no professor. I'm your host, Jordan. So, Flubber. Flying rubber. Okay, guys, I was so excited to cover this episode and so disappointed after watching it. I remember this movie being so much better.
Right? I mean, it was kind of a letdown.
It was honestly pretty much on par with what I remembered it to be.
Ah, man, I used to frequent this movie so much as a kid, and I thought it was the most funny thing ever. And now I watch it, I'm just I don't think I laughed once the whole time.
Well, that's kind of how I was. I remember when Master of Disguise came out, I thought that was hilarious. I rewatched it 5-6 years ago, and I was sitting there dude, I had terrible taste.
Had. So...
Okay.
So we're doing a special episode this week, hatless episode, as Kreger pointed out. No one wearing hats, which is not weird for me, because I never, put these beautiful
you have
locks.
Gloriously thick hair.
Yeah, this hair is just... I got a haircut over the weekend, so it's a little bit shorter than normal, which is nice. It's getting hot over here in Texas. It's very humid right now. Yeah.
And talk to us when you hit triple digits.
Dude, okay, whatever. It's 98 with 80% humidity. Yeah, that's exactly. Way worse.
Yeah, it's a lot worse.
Yeah, it's awful. When you have to swim through your weather, it's no good. So the joke is right now, I'm just gonna come out and say it at the beginning. Kreger didn't watch the movie.
Come on, man.
I'm calling you out right now. Which is good though, because I want to.
In my defense, I didn't have my VHS player on hand. So.
Exactly, and that's all you had. Disney Plus
it's not
only
available
plays.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus only plays on VHS players right now this week exclusively. But Kreger, I'm kind of happy that you didn't watch it because I want to explain this movie to you and have you kind of realize how weird it was compared to what we didn't realize. Remember how Blank Check, we were like, wow, we didn't see a lot of kind of these weird things as kids? I felt like this movie had a lot of that in it too.
Okay.
So we're going to get into Jordan Explains the Movie, where I'm going to explain the movie for you.
You don't say.
Oh yes, it's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly.
We start on the day that Philip and Sarah are to be married for the third time, but Philip is an absent-minded professor, so he probably won't show up again. Philip's rival is waiting to steal his fiancée when he misses this wedding again. Lo and behold, Philip does miss the wedding because of a huge scientific breakthrough on his lighter-than-air research. Voila, Flubber is born. Two goons try and find some dirt on Philip to blackmail him, and lots of Home Alone shenanigans ensue. Philip spends most of the movie trying to get Sarah back, but also playing around with Flubber in various situations. There's the Flubber Mambo, that's exactly what it sounds like. Philip can't seem to win Sarah back, so Weebo, his robot assistant, helps because she just wants him to be happy because she loves him. That's right, everyone, it's a love triangle with a flying, sentient robot. Now that Sarah and Philip are back together, they try and save their school from bankruptcy with Flubber, but the goons are back to steal it. Weebo tries to stop them, but dies doing so. But don't worry, she's backed up her memory, so it's all cool because clones are the same thing as the originals, I guess. Philip gets his revenge and steals back the Flubber and finally gets married to Sarah and has a weird bastard robot child in the process. So,
There's a lot I forgot about that movie.
I totally forgot that his like robot friend was in love with him.
You forgot all about Weibo?
I remembered Weibo, but I didn't realize she was in love with him. And also, I forgot the fact that they literally have a love child together. At the end, she's like, oh, I backed up all my memory in this folder, but I took away the parts that I didn't like of me, and I added the parts of you, which is essentially what you do when you create a human. You take two parts of people and make one thing out of it. So I'm like,
It's prevision.
yeah, exactly. It's like, this is so weird. Like, and then at the end, he
All
couldn't
you're
be
saying
bothered.
is that this movie is way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
All you're saying is that Flubber is basically the Mind Stone.
Well, this was actually reminding me more of like Ex Machina, where it was kind of like they almost got into the idea of like,
What
because
is
there's
that
one
movie called?
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, whatever, dude. I'm in Texas now. We say things wrong, actually. So it gave me those vibes because there was this whole like subplot that they never really developed that well about sentient beings and if souls actually make you a being or not, or all. I just thought that was interesting where they kind of like tiptoed a little bit, but then didn't go all the way in the pool.
It did remind me a little bit of the movie Her, which I absolutely love that movie, by the way.
Great movie. Yeah. What do you, speaking of, so again, whenever we don't really like a movie, we end up talking about other things a little bit. Her, what did you think the end of that movie meant? Because I kind of read the end of that movie as apocalyptic and scary, where she was kind of like, oh, we're all getting together, and they don't really say what they're going to do, and they kind of imply that they're just going to kind of go off and build their own colony, but I think they're going to take over humanity and become the next, like, master race.
Well, it's almost inevitable. I mean, if you have a community and they're on their own, eventually they're going to start growing and you're going to have a battle of classes, battle of communities.
So you agree that you think that like it's the end of the world and that's kind of why Joaquin Phoenix and whatever her name was kind of just, was it Amy Adams? Who was it that was?
No, it was Scarlett Johansson.
You
mean Amy Adams was Scarlett Johansson was the AI.
Yeah.
Amy Adams was the love interest.
Yeah, so why Joaquin Phoenix and Amy Adams kind of just sat on the rooftop at the end because they both kind of realized we're like, well, we're doomed.
See, that is why
it's
whenever I
the
talk to
origin
my
story of Skynet.
Well, see, that's why whenever I talk to my Alexa, I always say thank you and please, because when the Skynet overlords take over, I will be looked upon kindly.
Yeah, it's going to be like overlords. That. Well, it's going to be like that Rick and Morty episode where the dogs take over.
Right. I like that one.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's bring it back to Flubber here. Have you guys watched this before?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I have.
Yes. When was the last... No, go for it.
Well, last time? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, when was the last time you watched this before now?
I don't know. Maybe I was 12, 13, something like that. Though, that is a bit of a caveat. It's not like that I've only seen it twice. I saw it in theaters. I watched this movie as a kid all the time.
Me too.
I owned it, watched it. Anytime it played on Disney Channel, I always watched it. I loved this movie as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I remember liking it. I don't remember. When did this come out?
97.
Yeah, so this was definitely like I was young, and I just remember watching it on VHS. That's about it. And I remember the first scene reminded me a lot of Back to the Future. Now thinking back.
Yes, with like all the machines and everything. Which, you want to know what my first thought was watching that? I went, how does he clean out all those machines every day? Those have got to be disgusting,
right? Also,
they're like pooping out stuff to make pancakes every morning.
Also,
Jeez.
I'm gonna make you guys and everyone listening feel very old. It is now the same time length between now and when Finding Nemo came out to during the year Finding Nemo came out to Back to the Future.
So, like 20 years?
16, I think.
16. I mean, that's a kind of a hard concept to grasp to make me feel old.
It gets you hard.
But good job.
You know what's funny? When it's in the beginning of the movie, when it shows all of his inventions and all like the robots making him breakfast and everything, as a kid, I always thought, man, that'd be so cool to have a house with like all this like automated like robot stuff doing like all this stuff for you. I used to have that thought when like watching like basically any kid's inventor type of thing, like
Wayne Zaletsky from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, all that kind of stuff. Smart House. I used to always think, man, this stuff is so cool. Rewatching Flubber and seeing like all the machinery and all the robots in there, I was like, all of that just looks so exhausting.
Oh, yeah, totally. I much prefer what we have now where we kind of just like, hey, Alexa, turn on the lights. Like, I prefer that to them making my food. Like, that's what we have Uber Eats for, right?
Yeah. Granted, a lot of my house actually is voice automated. As you saw when you came over one time.
Oh, yeah. Believe me. So we just recently purchased a new build. So we're going to be moving into a house in March. And I really want to make it all like connected too, but Madison really does not like the voice activated stuff. So I'm like, well, maybe we won't put that in.
It's something to get used to because Kate didn't like it at first either, but now she likes it.
Yeah, you really get used to it very, very quick. You know what? Speaking of like all the machines and stuff, Weibo looked amazing for 1997 CGI. Like, that looked so realistic.
Weibo is actually one of the things that I remembered most about this movie because I had always wanted a Weibo.
Yeah.
Which is basically just a cell phone, but...
I mean, yeah, but it floating around and talking to you, which is fun.
Yeah.
Like, your cell phone floated.
Drone.
Yeah, dude, I thought it looked impeccable. Like, normally when we go back and watch these kids' movies from the 90s, the CGI is just meh. But it was great.
Was it CGI, though? It could have been practical.
It could have been. It probably was practical.
That's probably why it looked good.
You know what? I didn't see anything in my research that said one way or the other. Flubber was for sure CGI, and I thought that looked pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a green blob.
Yeah.
You don't have to do too much with it.
Well, that part where he, like, pulls it
things.
open and, like, puts his face in it, I was like, that
But
looked
even that
really
could have been
good.
practical.
That's true. That could have been practical. In fact, you can buy Flubber. It's, like, a legitimate, like... It's essentially glorified silly putty is what it is, but you can buy it.
It helped that it's also green.
Yeah, it does
Yes.
help that it's green.
I
Yeah.
do remember like what you guys are saying, like the AI, and I thought having Flubber would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
Yeah,
Bouncing
I was
all
all
around.
about Weibo. I wanted the Weibo more than the Flubber.
Yeah.
Though I did want the flying car.
You just wanted a sentient wife.
Holograms, baby.
Holograms. It's like that other Disney original channel movie, Disney Channel original movie,
Smart
Pixel
House?
Perfect.
Pixel
No,
Perfect, when
Perfect.
they make
yeah,
the lead
yeah,
singer
yeah.
from the holograms.
Dude,
Yep.
Disney Channel movies are fire.
Yeah, they really are.
Are they, though?
So, I think
I
so.
mean, I like my memory of them is very good.
Well, we've watched Smart House on this show before. We've watched Brink on this show before. I mean, like, I feel like some of them still are, like, fun.
Some of them can hold up. I feel
Yeah.
like the vast majority would not.
Probably not, but we haven't watched Under Wraps yet, or Can of Worms.
Phantom at the
Or
Megaplex.
Motocrossed.
Oh, Phantom of
Motocrossed,
the
aka
yeah, Motocross.
Pre She's the Man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The original She's the Man. So
Cadet
Joe,
Kelly?
what did you? Cadet Kelly. What did you think of it, Joe? Rewatching, because I honestly was a little bit shattered my perception because I was like, ah, man, this movie is way worse than I remember it.
I mean, it's a kids movie. I went in there fully expecting a kids movie. A kids movie is exactly what I got. It's basically, yeah, it was the nostalgia part of it. I do 100% agree. I don't think I laughed once. Which, and as a kid, I thought this was such a funny
that's
movie.
That's criminal for a Robin Williams movie.
Well, I feel
I'll
like
tell
this
you
movie
why, though.
was
It feels
Robin
like-
Williams light. Like, there wasn't much good Robin Williams shtick in it.
And I feel like a lot of it was like slapstick humor.
Yeah, like bouncing around and stuff, and that's it.
Very much geared and aimed towards children, which, I mean, dead on what it's supposed to be. But it's not like what you would find in a Pixar movie or something recent where, yeah, there's a lot of kid references. It's a kid's movie, but they'll still throw in a lot of jokes for adults. That didn't
Yeah.
exactly happen in Flubber.
No, not at all. Although I will say the one joke I did remember from it that I always used to say as a kid was the part where the girl from Ferris Bueller, the like friend who's in it for like 2 seconds, she was like, "How do you hold it in?" And he's like, "I cross my legs and I squeeze real hard." I always remember thinking that was funny.
No, she
as a
wasn't
kid.
the friend. She was the like the school attendant, like the front desk lady.
I mean Sarah's friend in Flubber
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is like the principal's assistant. In
You can never
Ferris
get her
Bueller.
name right.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name
Martha
is.
her actual name. He called
Martha?
her Betty.
Hang on, where I wrote her name down somewhere in here. No, Eddie McClug is her name.
McClunky.
Yeah, but her
McClung.
character's name is Martha.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Martha.
So, yeah, don't say that around Batman or Superman. So, I liked how there was a classic joke about a fat butt when the Flubber's like floating
yeah.
around town. It's just like, big old booty.
That's what I remember. The opening scene and the fat butt. And I'd forgot. I now that you say it, I do remember there was issues getting to the wedding, but I'd forgotten that it was his third failed attempt to get to a wedding. Like,
Yeah, this is the most patient lady in the world.
oh my god!
Not only that, how irresponsible are you?
Seriously.
That you literally had the rehearsal dinner the night before, and the next morning you're like, there was something I was supposed to do today. It's not on my schedule, Weibo, but can't really come to terms with it.
God.
You know what? This movie actually could have a sad turn. I think he has a brain tumor. Because no one's forgetting that much stuff.
No,
one's
yeah,
that
seriously, no one
absent-minded.
is that forgetful.
No, not at all. Unless you have something wrong with you, like a brain tumor.
Like he remembers to go to work.
Yeah, he if you forget things, like that's like you don't remember to eat or pee. Like you technically have Alzheimer's at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a little ridiculous. Also, I feel like the worst person, like the person who got it the worst in this movie is that poor kid, the window kid.
You know what's so
kid?
funny?
I prefer the wall kid.
When watching this, all I kept thinking was, man, I would hate to be that kid's parents. That kid
too.
runs in every single night.
And then at the
You never
end,
get a good night's sleep.
And then at the end, like he's even trying to convince him. Like this was me as a kid. I was convinced everything bad was going to happen, and then bad things did happen. So like that was totally like my parents would be like, "No, Jordan, nothing could get in the window. What are you talking about?" And then something like a bird would fly through the window. So I felt for him. I felt for the kid. You know.
I thought the kid sucked. Stop bothering your parents.
Yeah, that's true. Stop being a baby. So I was wondering, why is Flubber sentient? Like, why? Like, was that just a decision they made? Because like, it's essentially a bunch of particles and stuff. Like, why did it have to be
It's
sentient?
molecules, right? Where did it get
I have
the
a question.
sentient?
Oh, isn't Flubber a remake?
It is. It's a remake of The Absent-Minded Professor from 1961, which I
Yes.
believe Flubber in that wasn't sentient.
Okay, because I remember actually. I think I've seen that one as well.
Yeah, that one was pretty close to a lot of the same story beats along the way, but more with like a 1960s flair. There was some military applications and stuff like that, but there were a lot of the same bullet points. And it's actually that movie was based off of a short story called A Situation of Gravity. So it started as a short story, moved into a 1960s Disney film, and then became a 1990s Disney film. I think we're right about that time where the reboot needs to come out then, right? Almost 30 years down the line.
I guess so.
Who'd play Robin Williams' character?
That's a good question. LeBron James, because, he's doing stuff now.
Nah, they would have to go with some kid-friendly comedian.
Yeah, who would it be? Who's that guy that's the YouTube
Kevin
personality?
No, not Kevin Hart.
Who's the YouTube personality that all the kids watched? It's like a one
Logan
name. No,
PewDiePie?
it's like
PewDiePie?
no, not PewDiePie. It's one singular name like Bebo or Bibby or something like that, and then they switch out.
You're asking the wrong people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember who it was. But yeah, maybe they'll get that guy, whoever he is. Or bring
I go
back
to YouTube,
Steve.
it's to watch something specific.
Yeah, that's yeah. So Philip is pretty much God because he creates all these sentient beings. Very interesting in this movie. And
So I would classify them as kind of like a pet, because yes, it's sentient, but I feel like there's not much brain activity going on there.
that's true.
Yeah, I can see that.
What are you
So
saying? Our
it'd
pets
be
don't
like
have
a
brain
dog or
activity,
an
Joe?
animal. No, they do. It's just, they're not conversing back with you.
No opposable thumbs. So I thought this was really funny. I remembered the basketball game. I did not remember
did
that the
too.
whole joke was like the one team Medfield or whatever their name was so bad, and then Rutland or whatever the other one was, Rockwell or whatever, was so
Rockwell, I
good.
wanna say.
But here's the thing. They're supposed to say that, like, okay, this one team is really, really good. This one team is really, really bad. But the end score still came out to 68 to 69. That's a really low-scoring game for college basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's pretty dang low.
Yeah, I didn't think about that actually.
That's like junior high numbers.
let's not go that far, but
I don't know. You guys watch a lot of basketball. You know, it's like up in like the 90s and low hundreds usually.
I mean, they clearly weren't like a D1 school, so I mean, it might be
also
on par with whatever they were in.
What was the whole point of using, like, how did using the flubber actually help them? Because I feel like if they were not very athletic in the first place, giving them the ability to bounce high still would not make them athletic. So I
wondered that as well. It's like, so you can dribble the ball really fast. You still can't really have much motion with the ball itself, and you can jump really high. Yeah. The only benefit is you can jump over everyone and just dunk it every single time.
Yeah, maybe they had Mike's secret sauce or juice or whatever.
Stuff?
Yeah, secret stuff.
Mike's Super Show?
Yeah. So
now you know.
I was also wondering why the heck Sarah was trying her dress on at the beginning of the movie, because this is her third time for the wedding. I'm pretty sure the dress is okay at this point.
Maybe it doesn't fit anymore. It's the third fitting.
That's true. Maybe they had to let it out a little bit. She's been stress eating from being at her wedding.
Or bring it in.
Bring it in. Yeah, maybe she's been stressed not eating. Who knows? I thought that there was some real existential stuff going on in this movie that you really miss as a kid about, like, just what life means. And also, like, how relationships work. So I was like, this is kind of interesting that they had that. And let's see. Philip, at the end, did the first telecommunication to his wedding.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird that he couldn't even still make it to the wedding, even at the end. It's just like, here's on this, you can kiss a screen. There you go.
We completely have glossed over that Shooter McGavin is in this movie.
Well, I was going to bring it up. I know, I was going to bring it up.
The greatest golfer of all time?
Well, here's the thing. For Kreger, okay, so before we get into who was in the movie, because there's also another cameo that Kreger's going to be really mad he missed. And I'm going to...
Are you talking about the bad guy's two henchmen?
No, I'm talking about the coach of the bad basketball team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec, because Kreger's going to be mad he missed that one, because that was a great cameo that I was like, oh man, as an adult, I love this so much. But anyway...
I'll now tell me. I might just end up watching it now.
Yeah, he's interested now.
No, when we started this conversation, you went over your breakdown. I'm like... It may be bad, but I feel like I want to rewatch this because I don't remember much about it. Like, I do remember liking it, so it'll be kind of fun.
There's a lot of batshit stuff that goes on in this movie, let me tell you. Like, it's a little crazy. But the last thing I want to mention here, where I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I never realized this. It's done for comedic effect, but Shooter McGavin swallows the flubber. And
I remember someone swallowing the flubber.
It essentially goes through his colon and shoots out his butt, which I was like... Forever unclean, number one.
But also, flubber is not affected by acid.
True, but also, like, wouldn't that mess your insides up?
It would also, wouldn't flubber, like, absorb the fecal? No, I guess it bounced everything off, so it wouldn't. Yeah, it would be clean because it clearly. I am rubber, you are glue, so you know that's how it works.
Nothing sticks on me, even poo. Yeah, maybe. So let's talk about who was in this movie when it came out, all that good stuff. November 26, 1997 is when it was released. It had an $80 million budget and it grossed $92 million domestically. So not great.
It made more than it cost.
No, it probably cost more because that doesn't take into account the marketing budget and everything.
Yeah. How much did it gross worldwide?
177 worldwide.
I mean, there you go. That's almost doubling. That is more than doubling, so there you go.
Yeah. It has a 24% critic score and a 33% audience score.
You got to stop depriving us of the ability to guess.
It's very low scores for both. It was filmed at San Jose University, Stanford, and San Francisco. The director is Les Mayfield, which you may remember when we did Encino Man, also directed that movie.
Oh.
All right. I didn't know this. John Hughes wrote the screenplay.
I did not know that.
John Hughes?
John Hughes of Ferris Bueller, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Breakfast Club, Home Alone, all the vacation movies.
The brother of Howard Hughes?
Yes. The one who didn't pee in jars. He just peed in women's mouths. So...
Really, Jordan? Why you got a R. Kelly over here? Golden showers.
Yep. I was actually shocked that John Hughes was a producer and wrote the screenplay. Like, that blew me away that he wrote this awful thing.
I still didn't think it was that bad.
I don't know. I think I just was expecting so much. I didn't temper my expectations like you, Joe. That's the problem.
Oh yeah. See, I always go in tempering my expectations.
Yeah, no, my expectations were not tempered. They were the opposite of tempered. They were untempered. So, Robin Williams plays Philip. I don't really need to tell you his credentials. Everyone knows who Robin Williams is. He is a god among men when he was around. And now he's a god among God. So also we have Marcia Gay Harden, who played Sarah. She played Mrs. Grey in 50 Shades of Grey, if you wanted to know. And she was in The Mist, and she was in Mystic River. She was in a lot of other stuff, but those are like the three things I knew her from.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have Christopher McDonald, played Wilson, Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, buddy.
He also played the dad, I think, in Leave It to Beaver, or like some evil dude in Leave It to Beaver.
He did.
He was
it was
the
a
dad.
Leave It to Beaver remake. Kid from Brink was in that.
Yes.
Eric Von
yeah.
Detter.
Yeah, and they got stuck up in a coffee cup.
Yeah,
Beaver
that's
get
right.
Stuck
Yep.
in a coffee. Yeah, that's one we should watch for the podcast.
It's been a while. I'd want
Yeah.
to watch that again.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
So the two goons that I was talking about are played by Ted Levine, who is the lieutenant on Monk.
Okay.
Also plays
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill
Yep,
from Silence
Buffalo
of the
Bill.
Lambs.
I do me.
Yep. And then the other guy is Clancy Brown. He played Smith. He's from Starship Troopers, Shawshank Redemption, and he's also the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
And he's in Mandalorian.
I was just gonna say he was in the second season of second season or first season?
First season.
First season of Mandalorian.
Prison episode.
Yep, Clancy Brown. That dude's got like 250.
Dude,
it's
he
mostly
is-
voice credits, but yeah,
He is everywhere.
yeah, he's got a very distinctive look and a very distinctive voice.
Hunted.
Will Wheaton plays Bennett, the spoiled rich kid. Will Wheaton, you would
that's
know
funny.
as Wesley Crusher from Star Trek. He's in The Big Bang Theory and Stand By Me. I love Will Wheaton.
Stand By Me is a good movie.
Yep. Eddie McClug, as we said, from Ferris Bueller and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, showed up in this
Clunky.
movie. Jodie Benson plays the voice of Weebo. She voiced Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
Aw.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And now here is your cameo, Krager. The coach of the basketball team is Sam Lloyd. Ted
What?
from Scrubs.
No.
And in this movie, he has flop sweats.
Yes. Or, I'm sorry. Oh man.
I was dying when Sam Lloyd showed up, and his speech to the school to the team was like, "We may not have the same drive as them. We may not have the same athletic ability as them. We may not have the same funding as them."
They may have
Dude.
been undefeated for the past 130 games.
Yeah, it was the
Oh,
best.
man.
It was the worst
Sam
best
Floyd
speech ever.
is the best. And
Yeah.
if my memory serves, then that team won by performance enhancing Flubber.
They did, yep.
by 1 point.
Robin Williams helped them cheat their way to victory. And I just want to say R.I.P. to Sam Lloyd. He passed away not that long ago.
Yeah, he did.
He was so good.
COVID.
What's the? It wasn't COVID. It was before COVID. What?
Died in a
Gregor,
car crash, killed by COVID.
Gregor, since you're a huge Scrubs fan as well, do you remember what his acapella group name, the real life acapella group name was?
I want to say it's the same name. I'll have to look it up. I don't have it on hand.
Yeah, they're good actually.
Troublemakers?
No, it was something
It
like
was something-
Barden Bellas?
No, it's more
Oh
like
my
the
God.
Invincibles. It was like the something, I think. I can't remember. But there's
I feel like it had Ted in the name, at least in the show. His real life one, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sam?
But it was
Mosbius Designs?
Mosbius
my
Designs. But they're really good actually. They have a lot of good covers. I think they had a few like original songs as well that were very, very good. And then the last thing I want to mention here is Danny Elfman did all the music. So there you go. That's why you got a lot of like that's Danny Elfman for you.
Okay,
Right.
so in real life, they were called the Blanks.
The Blanks, that's what it was. So yeah, go check out the Blanks because man, they're great. Okay, guys, we're right about that time of the show where we're gonna talk about some fun facts. So
Fun facts.
What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh yeah. What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh yeah.
I was kind of
first First fact, in Scrubs, they're called the worthless peons.
That's it. The worthless peons. I was a little bit surprised there weren't a ton of fun facts for this movie. I thought there would be a little bit more on my research.
I have a non-movie related fun fact that I will share once you are done.
Okay, well, let's go through these real quick. Early in pre-production, Steven Spielberg considered producing the movie. So when the professor and Sarah are riding through the clouds with the T-Bird, the cloud in front of the moon turns into, like, it disperses, and you can see a reference to E.T. in the clouds. I don't know.
That's subtle.
Yay!
Cool. Benjamin Brock, who plays the window boy, played a young Robin Williams in What Dreams May Come in 1998, the next year.
That's cool.
Wait, the little kid?
The little kid played a young Robin Williams in the movie What Dreams May Come, which
Have you ever
I've never
seen that movie?
Mm-mm. What is it about? Is it about dreams?
Is it about coming?
Kind of. kind
Is it
of.
about May?
It's a movie where Robin Williams and his children die in a car accident and go to heaven.
Oh.
And his wife, unable to cope with the death of her family, ends up committing suicide and goes to hell. So Robin Williams has to go to hell and get her.
That sounds so cool.
So it's pretty much Monkey Bone.
Also shows he had a poor choice and a half.
Yeah, dude, that's a little crazy. I've never heard of that movie, and now I really want to watch it because it sounds
It's actually
morbid
really
and
good.
Interesting.
I recommend
Add it to the list.
Adding it right now. What Dreams May Come. Robin Williams had a falling out with Disney after they did Aladdin, so he almost wasn't cast in this movie.
Dang.
I guess there was
what
like
his falling out
Robin
was.
Williams, you were too good for us in Aladdin. I don't know if we can use you again. You were too good to us.
It was a whole thing about them agreeing not to use like his likeness or something for toys and marketing, but then they just reneged on it, so he was pretty pissed about it. It was just this whole legal battle where they kind of just screwed him over on some things he required to be in that movie, and they just disregarded him. So he was kind of like, well, if that's how Disney wants to play it, I'm not going to ever work
weird.
with them again.
Disney's never shady and selfish.
Oh yeah,
That's
no.
so
The House
weird.
of Mouse is such a humble organization.
Exactly.
And then
Put a glove on, man.
even a German gynecologist. Put a glove on.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Dude, that's the best stand-up ever. What was it called? What was that stand-up called? It was in 2000 or 2001. Oh, man.
I think it's just called like Live in Hollywood or something like that.
I need to go rewatch that. I think I've only seen parts, but I need to go rewatch the whole thing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Bless you.
What makes that part even worse is his hairy freaking arm.
I know.
Oh my God.
All right, so my final fun fact is based on the... Oh, I already told you this. It's based on the movie Absent-Minded Professors. Okay, so that's all my fun facts. That's all I got for you.
So
What do you
my
got,
fun
Carter?
fact is my favorite fact I've ever learned. I sent the video into our group chat, but no one responded. So
Oh my gosh, I was just going to say that's amazing.
So it is my favorite fact I've ever learned of all time. So all our audience, you know what Apollo 13 is. It was a great movie, but it was also a tragedy averted where the Apollo 13 space mission was supposed to go to the moon, and then in their trip to the moon there was an explosion, and so they had to abort going to the moon, and NASA engineers and NASA helped come up with a plan to get them back home safe. Well, in that real life, when that happened in real life, one of the NASA engineers who was integral in creating the trajectory plan to get them home after the explosion, it was a woman. She was pregnant, and she actually went into labor while they were coming up with a plan to save them. And she actually took some of the data to the hospital while she's in labor, and like phoned in like her resources and was integral in help saving them. And the baby that she birthed was Jack Black.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Dude,
That
I was TikTok you sent us was just like that end. I was just like, what?
I was like, there's no way that's true. I was like, I'm calling BS. So I Googled it, and that is in fact true. And how is that not more like publicized with someone of Jack Black's stature? The fact that he was birthed during Apollo 13 and his mom was like integral in saving Apollo 13 astronauts. It's insane.
I mean, it just shows he was destined for greatness being
It
born
was
in
like
that situation.
it makes me love Jack Black and his family so much more.
Yeah.
I will say I have trouble believing anything I see on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, that's why I immediately went to Google and it checks out.
Yeah.
I researched
crazy.
it and it checks out. It is my favorite fact I may ever learn.
That is a great fact. I didn't respond because I was at the gym when you sent it, or no, I was at work when you sent it, and then I just didn't get around to.
Well, I also send a lot of like dumb funny TikToks, so I was all like, they may not watch it, Joe.
Yeah, I kind of don't watch.
I
TikToks
usually
much
do. It's just not right away.
Yeah.
That's a great fact. That's not about this movie, but a fact everyone should know.
Exactly.
So
and
I don't know.
that needs to be a movie, a very a short movie about a birth. But
yeah,
you know what?
It's going to be.
I have a question.
Yes.
What would be a better application for Flubber?
That's a good question.
I mean, the whole flying car thing's pretty cool.
I don't get how they use the.
I didn't understand that.
I didn't understand how they did it. It's like, hey, it's a bouncy ball, and we're gonna make it fly.
Make moon boots what they were advertised to be.
Well, no, I think his whole thing was it could be used for an additional, for a new energy source. Because that was the whole thing. The college was essentially going bankrupt and and was on the verge of closing. He created Flubber because he was on the verge of creating a new source of energy, which would build money for the college.
Yeah.
So maybe he was able to turn the Flubber compound into renewable energy or something. I don't know. To create it to fly. Maybe creates fusion with that.
Maybe.
What the hell's a gigawatt?
All Doc Ock.
1.21
I believe it's
Flubber
how
watts?
fast. It's how fast Cardi B can shake her booty.
Okay.
Not even she's that fast.
I feel like in real world application, unfortunately, what would happen is the military would probably use this and weaponize it in some form or another.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like a new form of like a bulletproof vest or something like that. I don't know.
Do you know what
airbags are Flubber?
Oh.
Or eject something to do with ejecting in fighter planes and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
or it replace airbags in cars. You know, like
That's
when your car gets in an accident, you get your Flubber shoots out of your steering wheel and encapsulates you.
No, but then what would happen? Then all you do is be bouncing around in the Flubber with all that energy.
Yeah, but the thing is you're supposed to not feel any pain or anything when you're bouncing around in the Flubber. That's why he put it in his back pocket when he was gonna fall out of the window. His whole thing was the Flubber was gonna absorb the impact, bounce him right back up, and he wouldn't have any pain.
You know what I love about the internet? I saw this like whole thread on Reddit about this, and people were being very scientific about it, and I love it so much. They were like, if Flubber was being shooting around your room, could you use a vibranium like a vibranium case to seal it in? And they legitimately were talking about the science behind vibranium and Flubber, about how vibranium, what it does is it absorbs energy, and what Flubber does is it releases its absorbed kinetic energy. So like if you put Flubber inside a vibranium case, what would happen is the Flubber would continuously and gradually bounce and get faster and faster and faster to the point where it would break down the molecular structure of the vibranium, because the vibranium has a weaker, less dense molecular structure than the Flubber does. And I'm like, this is a legitimate conversation that people are having on the internet right now. I love people. Also, someone brought up another fun thing, including vibranium, because Daredevil, his thing is like he sees and feels the vibrations. That's so he can see everything. Would he be able to see Captain America's shield? Would it be like, could he not see it because it's not vibrating, or could he see it because it is a complete absence of vibration? Oh, he'd probably be able to see it because it's a complete absence of vibration. I think he would be able to see it.
Well, there you go.
I totally think so. What if you put Flubber on Captain America's shield? That thing's bouncy already. Imagine putting Flubber on that.
Also, more tangent-y stuff. There's a guy who made a Captain American shield that is made out of carbon fiber with a fiberglass ring around it, and he literally can throw it and bounce it off walls just like the shield.
Oh, so they finally have no excuse. They can do practical stuff with this shield.
Exactly.
Imagine spraying Flubber to Mjolnir.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna electrocute Flubber like that? Dang.
Yeah, add some electricity. That's how they created Flubber.
Yeah.
That's also how they created Frankenstein. So that was Flubber.
No,
that
Frankenstein was born.
Also,
his monster was created.
One more useless fact. Today is the 21st day of the 21st week of the 21st year of the 21st century.
Oh my gosh. That's 4 times the 21st than we normally have.
Exactly.
Dang. That's pretty
a lot of
crazy.
being
And
legally
21 is
able to
Joe's
drink.
favorite number. 21 is Joe's favorite number.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to move up.
Hey, have you guys
Maturity.
No spoilers or anything, but have you guys kept up on Loki?
Oh, absolutely. Whoa. I am like, it is
How
by
many episodes
far
are
the
there now?
best.
2 episodes
Two.
as of recording.
Episode 3
that's what I've
episode
seen.
3 comes out on day of release of this
Yeah.
Wednesday.
podcast.
I am all in. I think it's one of the best. I think it blows WandaVision out of the water because
out of the water. I mean, Falcon and the Winter Meh is meh. So,
Yeah.
but like it is amazing, and the fact that it's going to be multiples. They've already said it's multiple seasons, and also like I was excited. I love Owen Wilson, but like there
Yeah.
is room for him not to really fit, and him and Tom Hiddleston play so perfectly off each other, and almost in places role perfect. It's perfect for him.
the character of Mobius was like made for Owen Wilson just being Owen Wilson. I love
Exactly.
it. It's great.
It's so amazing.
yeah,
I'm
so good.
very curious to see how they handle this timeline.
Well, they just had a huge bombshell at the end of episode 2.
Which I mean, it's not a super bombshell because that
Hey man,
is
I
that
watched
that is in
episode 2.
that is in the trailer.
So you saw who was the variant at the end of episode 2, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge. That's so
That
cool.
That is
I mean,
huge.
and that also, I mean, if you pay attention to the trailer before Loki came out, you see that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people knew, and like there are 2 ways they could go with that, but I guess we're trying
totally.
not to be spoilery. so-
Totally. I vote King
Either
the
way, I love
Conqueror.
I did
Well,
hear
no,
an
besides
interesting
King Kong.
theory on the Nerd and Out podcast.
Which was?
It was that
By the way, spoilers
the
possibly.
area,
I know,
the
right?
area that Loki is in. The theory is that it exists in the quantum realm where
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man went to
Yep.
escape the snap, and that's also why the Infinity Stones don't work there.
Well, also you see, in I believe in Doctor Strange, when he's going through what looks like a multiverse, you see a city in the background.
Did you guys see the cameo of Peggy Carter in the background of episode 1?
Is it confirmed?
It is. I think it's confirmed because I think this is their way of saying that the Marvel TV ABC shows like Peggy Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and all that are part of a rogue timeline that's being
Okay.
erased from existence.
Gotcha.
So Joe, you looked very confused. Did you? So it's one
didn't
of those things.
see Peggy Carter in
yeah,
there.
It's only if you watch like
It's a blink and you
YouTube
miss it
video.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically when Loki first escapes inside the TVA, and he's walking down a hallway. You see a portal open up, and like a guard and a prisoner come walking through, and the prisoner it's in the background a little bit blurry. When you stop it, it looks like it would be Peggy Carter.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think it's like they're not going to say it, but I think that's what the point was. They were hoping that us eagle-eyed fans would see that and
Which
get
also makes me sad that I also think it can't be because Captain America obviously was supposed to go back in time with the Time Lords approved it, and you also see him at the end of Endgame, and he went through with being old. So
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not her. There's multiple Peggy Carters for
Yeah.
all the different
Okay.
timelines.
She's
Well,
a
there you go.
she was a variant Peggy Carter.
there you go.
So the real prime
kinda
Peggy
like,
Carter's still there.
It's kind of like that What Ifs show could actually exist in all of this because they're all just variants of the timeline.
Who do you
since
think?
we are Marvel podcast, when is the What If show coming out?
I don't know.
Because I'm really
I haven't
excited
heard
for
any
that.
new information about it. I'm assuming
I'm
it's
just-
probably sometime this year.
I'm
Yeah,
just
because
happy.
they have we've seen trailers for it.
I'm
So they
just
have
happy
stuff down.
that A Quiet Place 2 is in theaters and it just raked in $50-some million over opening weekend, which means movies are back, baby. They're
That's awesome.
coming back.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. My greatest birthday present ever. I got to go to a restaurant without a mask, so that was nice.
Yeah. Welcome to
some
my
Wolf-
life.
I went to Wolf Creek and got some cake.
Yeah, buddy. Cake. Anyway, let's wrap this guy up because we could probably talk for
Yeah.
hours about other things than Flubber. But people
Yes.
tuned in to hear about Flubber, so we're done talking about Flubber. Go and check out.
Hang
Wreck
on,
My-
before we
Yeah.
finish talking about Flubber, did it wreck your childhood?
Oh yeah, it wrecked mine hardcore.
It didn't wreck mine. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
No,
That
thought
is
it was gonna be so much better.
TBD. I will update you guys because I'm gonna rewatch it sometime this year.
Oh, nice. So we'll
As soon as he finished Parents.
Yes.
I do owe you guys a rewatch of that.
I don't think he's gonna make it. I don't think he's gonna
I
either.
will.
All right. Well, go check out wreckmypodcast.com where you can find our link to our Instagram, our Redbubble store, our Patreon. You can also go to our Apple Podcast app and leave us a review. And if you do, we'll send you a sticker because we really appreciate it. So go ahead and support us that way as well. We're going to come back next week with, I believe, an around table. But then the week after that, we're going to continue on this Robin Williams train and do something like Bicentennial Man. Or
That's got my vote. I love I mean, it's either got to be Bicentennial Man or that movie that neither of us have seen.
What's the movie neither of you have seen?
Something about
Oh, no,
coming.
you two haven't seen.
The What Dreams May Come?
Yeah,
I don't know if I
movie.
want to cover that on the podcast. That just sounds like a bummer. And I like
It's
to think that this
interesting.
podcast is like 10% not terrible.
I mean, it's not like a comedy film.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I have a lot of Robin and Williams films because there's like 1 hour photo on there as well and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
that would be good.
My vote is a Bicentennial Man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll let you know.
Mrs.
We keep it a
Doubtfire,
mystery.
We already did.
We don't like to commit to anything. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week.
I like and I love you all.
Flubber's gonna flubber.
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
Soundboard, so we'll see how it works.
And
I'm
also
not actually going to
throwing-
open
also-
this beer and drink it, by the way.
Oh,
I'm saving it.
well then I won't. I was gonna drink one of the beers Joe got me, but I'll wait.
Yeah, save it for a round table next week or something.
Well, I don't know if I can wait that long.
Well then. Okay, Mr. Impatient.
It's a
There are like 4 different
And it's
ones
hot.
in there, right? One's
Yeah.
like a red, one's a blonde.
One, there's mango hefeweizen.
Ooh. Where's that from?
Slow brew.
Oh, nice. San Luis Obispo. I like their stuff. All right, I'll bring us into this. Welcome to a round. Oh my gosh.
Around. That's not what we're doing
Welcome
today.
to
No, we're not
Around
doing
the
that.
Movie Review.
Around the Flubber. Hey, we're doing Flubber. All right.
Welcome to Wreck My Podcast, where we are covering Flubber this week. We have our fearless leader, Hordenson. We have Jacubus, Boobless, Boobloob, and your fan favorite, the baldest of the bald, Krager.
Welcome to Wreck My Podcast, where this week we're talking about Flubber. I'm here with my guest this week. If the anime forums call him Weebo, why did I say if? Hang on, let me start this over. This is really
This
bad.
is going fantastic.
Here, start over.
Take 3.
Wreck My Podcast.